Hello and welcome. This is my wife Mary and I'm Ed, and we are Branch Davidian Seventh-day Adventists. We're excited you're joining us today. We present or expound on a principle or belief related to the SDA Sabbath School Quarterly each week. The Sabbath School lessons for this third quarter deal with education. We will be diving into Ellen White's book, Education, in particular to learn the keys to salvation and entrance into the kingdom of heaven. As we saw last week, without education, we have no hope of attaining a godlike character and being fit for heaven.
Ellen White said that a successful earthly education is what secures our passport for the school above, the passport being a godlike character. She said, "Higher than the highest human thought can reach is God's ideal for his children. Godliness, godlikeness, is the goal to be reached. Before the student, there is opened a path of continual progress. He will advance as fast and as far as possible in every branch of true knowledge. An education that is as high as heaven and as broad as the universe, an education that cannot be completed in this life, but that will be continued in the life to come, is an education that secures to the successful student his passport from the preparatory school of earth to the higher grade, the school above."
This week's lesson is entitled The Family and discusses the important role family plays in the education of our children and the responsibility parents have to reflect the image of God in their marriages and families. Today we are going to address Friday's discussion question, which reads, "We tend to view education as a good thing. After all, who could be against education? But is this always the case? What might be examples of educations having been perverted and turned into something bad? What can we learn from those negative examples that could help us make education a good thing?"
This is a great question. It points to Ellen White's need to put the modifying word true in front of the noun education. So much of our understanding of what constitutes education is not true education. So, what is true education?
Today we are going to focus on one aspect of true education, and that is progression. Let's read the quote from Ellen White again from her book Education, page 18. It reads, "Higher than the highest human thought can reach is God's ideal for his children. Godliness, godlikeness, is the goal to be reached. Before the student, there is opened a path of continual progress. He will advance as fast and as far as possible in every branch of true knowledge."
This may not seem very profound at first, but it actually has a few implications we may not have considered before. For example, we learned last week that not only are we to progress in knowledge in this life, but in the life to come, through the process of true education. See Education 19.1. This was one of those truths that was very new to me when I became a Seventh-day Adventist. I had always thought that once I made it into heaven, I would know everything somehow. But God told us that we will always need to progress, even in the earth made new. In other words, we will always need to learn new things, to advance. That is the definition of progression. Ellen said, "God has given to every person capabilities to improve, that he may reflect glory to the giver. Every day some progress should be made. God designs that Christians shall grow continually, grow up into the full stature of men and women in Christ. All who do not grow stronger and become more firmly rooted and grounded in the truth are continually retrograding."
So here we can see that there are only two possibilities for us in our daily lives. We are either advancing or we are retrograding. Here are some more brief quotes from Ellen on this principle of material reality. She said, "The church at Battle Creek, which is the great center, will either be advancing to greater light or it will be retrograding. And not one is stationary. It is advancing and growing, else it is retrograding, backsliding. And third, I wish you could see and feel that if you are not advancing, you are retrograding. Satan understood this. He knew how to take advantage of the human mind, and he had taken advantage of the human family ever since they had first stood upon the field of battle against the powers of darkness."
So, Satan understands this principle, and he takes advantage of our minds by getting us to think we do not need to advance, that we have need of nothing. This is the warning Jesus gave us, the Laodiceans, in Revelation 3. It reads, "Because you say, 'I am rich, have become wealthy, and have need of nothing, and do not know that you are wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked, I counsel you to buy from me gold refined in the fire, that you may be rich, and white garments, that you may be clothed, that the shame of your nakedness may not be revealed, and anoint your eyes with eye salve, that you may see.'"
Because of the sophistries of Satan, we SDAs tend to believe the lie that we have need of nothing. But this is opposed to the principle of constant advancement. If we are supposed to advance throughout eternity, why would we think God has stopped sending us new light after Ellen's death?
Ellen said that it is a fact that we have the truth, and we must hold with tenacity to the positions that cannot be shaken. But we must not look with suspicion upon any new light which God may send, and say, "Really, we cannot see that we need any more light than the old truth which we have hitherto received, and in which we are settled." While we hold to this position, the testimony of the true witness applies to our cases, its rebuke. "And knowest not that thou art wretched, and miserable, and poor, and blind, and naked?" Those who feel rich and increase with goods, and in need of nothing, are in a condition of blindness as to their true condition before God, and they know it not.
We need to make sure not to miss this. It says, "We know it not." So, if while we read this quote, you are thinking something like, "I don't think I'm in need of nothing. I know I need Jesus," then listen up. Here we can see that it is Jesus, the true witness himself, that testifies that we, Seventh-day Adventists, are in this condition and we don't even know it. So, of course, it seems like it doesn't apply to us when we hear it, but it does truly apply to us. We do not realize that we are falling for Satan's lie that progression is not needed, but we need to remember there is no standing still. We are either advancing or retrograding. And how much new truth have we as SDAs accepted since Ellen White died? What new truths do we know and believe that Ellen White didn't know because it has been revealed in the progression of truth since her time?
According to Ellen White's statements on education, we should expect to be constantly learning new truths. And if we are to be constantly learning, shouldn't our God also be constantly teaching us through the spirit of prophecy, even today?
If we have read our Bibles at all, most of us have already probably noticed that there are many scriptures in the Bible that Ellen White never expounded upon. But because Satan has us believing that there is no more truth to be revealed, not unlike what happened to the Pharisees in the time of Christ, we never think to look for more messages claiming to be from God to interpret these scriptures so we can advance. We may simply ignore them. Or if a message of new light comes to us today in a message claiming to be from God, we might not give it an honest, thorough, and personal investigation. We might, in our Laodicean state, be inclined to say, "No, thank you. We are all set. We have the writings of Ellen White in the Bible. We don't need anything else."
This principle of advancement, this aspect of true education, applies to all aspects of life, now and forever. Ellen White said, "To dwell forever in this home of the blessed, our heavenly home, to bear in soul, body, and spirit, not the dark traces of sin and the curse, but the perfect likeness of our Creator, and through ceaseless ages to advance in wisdom, in knowledge, and in holiness, ever exploring new fields of thought, ever finding new wonders and new glories, ever increasing in capacity to know and to enjoy and to love, and knowing that there is still beyond us joy and love and wisdom infinite. Such is the object to which the Christian's hope is pointing, for which Christian's education is preparing. To secure this education and to aid others to secure it should be the object of the Christian's life. We will discuss more implications of constant progressive education in the videos to come. We hope you join us.
Thank you for staying with us through the entire video. We invite you to visit our website, www.bdsda.com, to learn more about who we are and, just as important, who we are not. Please join us each week as we will continue to offer new and interesting insights for your Sabbath School studies. God bless.
Many blessings.